Ladies, gentlemen and all variations thereupon, Indiana Jones. See, recently I bought myself this hat. This is the Indiana Jones hat made by the people who made the original. They've still got the shop down in London and they have the original patterning for it. So they do sell the same hat that they made for the Indiana Jones movies. So this is the same as Harrison Ford wore in the movies, and it's been scaled exactly to my size, which is very expensive. Paid more for it than I probably should have. Well, in my opinion, it's very worth the money, and if you're going to splash out on something, splash out on something that's been handmade, so it's, you know, it's actually going towards a particular person. You can say, that person made this. I just love that idea. So I got this, and of course, because I've treated myself to this, eventually I did need a new bag, so I brought myself the Indiana Jones bag as well. Now, this isn't made by the same company that made the original bag, because the original bag was made technically by the British government, because it was a World War II gas mask bag that they used in the film, because in the 70s you could still get a lot of that World War II equipment that was just still surplus and just hanging around. People had it in their attics and things like that. So they just took a World War II gas mask bag and put a leather strap around it and just gave that as Indiana Jones's adventuring bag. This is not a World War II gas mask bag. This is a reproduction. The company that made the jacket for Indiana Jones movies made this, so it's still got that same connection. They originally did sell the World War II gas mask bags, but obviously they're very limited supply and they didn't really last very long, because when the bags were made, they didn't intend for them to be still knocking around almost 100 years after they were originally made. So yeah, those didn't last very long. They're very expensive and hard to come by, but I brought this, and this is a much more reasonable price than the hat. So it's about what you would pay for a decent bag anyway. But what happened recently is I took this down to the shops as I was going to buy myself my first contact day salmon, because I'm that kind of nerd, and I noticed that one of the press studs had actually come off. So the male section on here has popped off. It was stuck on the inside of this, and it is on the inside of the bag, so I'll put it in there for safekeeping. So I'm going to have to repair that, and it's not too big a deal. I'm not blaming the manufacturer for that, because I think this is supposed to be a costume piece rather than an everyday use piece, and I have been using this as an everyday use piece of clothing. So basically what I thought I would do is take you on a little bit of a tour around this bag and show off the hat as well. As you can see, the hat, I'll show off these pieces of Indiana Jones wear and repair my bag, because it is a fairly quick and easy repair. Now, this is the Indiana Jones hat, and it's been made by Herbert and Johnson, which are the what is the company that made the original. This is the original that they did make, the one for Raiders. You'll notice that in Raiders and in later movies it does change a bit. That's because when they were filming in Cairo and places like that, the humidity was different, and Harrison Ford had this habit of whenever he had his hat off, he would press on the sides like this, so it ended up rolling at the sides a bit more. But this is as it originally came to him, so this is the sort of style that it would have been when Harrison Ford first had it. This is probably slightly smaller, I think, than Harrison Ford's original, because it's been scaled to my measurements, so it's measured on the inside relative to my head, and then the rest of the hat has been scaled so that it looks proportionally the same on me as it would do on Harrison Ford when he first got it. So on the inside, as you can see, it's lined with a satin, and on the middle it's got the Herbert and Johnson little logo on the inside, established in 1889, 99 years before I was born, and a leather sweatband strap around the outside in very thin, very nice leather. The felt of the hat itself is made of rabbit. It's a rabbit fur felt. You can get a beaver fur one. Your mileage may vary with the ethics of that. I'm quite happy with a rabbit felt. So let's set the hat aside for a bit and take a look at the bag. So this is a reproduction of the World War II bag, and the reason I love it and use it every day is it has a lot of pockets on the inside, and I love pockets. There is a lot of space. It's deceptive how much space you actually have on the inside. This doesn't look as big as it actually is. You've got a fairly large area at the back there, which I'll keep my glasses and sonic screwdriver in. You know, I've always got them to hand. Got a little pocket there that I normally keep my wireless earbuds in, but you know, you can put mints and things in there, or a spare change or something. And you've got another pocket at the side here, which is perfect for a phone or a notebook of some kind. There's also another little pocket at the side here which I keep my water bottle in, and then a large section which is just the general parts I'm carrying. When I'm coming back from shopping, I put porridge oats and juice in there. And then you've got a section at the front which covers the entire front area of the bag, and that's perfect size to put books in. So I've got my notebook and face mask in at the moment, but you can put books in there fairly large in there. You can get an A4 book in the front of that fairly easily. Closes just with these little snaps, I guess you call them, and they just snap in like that. The leather strap, they do sell it without the leather strap. This is something that was added for the movie. The original bags didn't have this on, but they sell these leather straps. It is a leather company that sells them, and they sell these leather straps separately anyway, so you can splash out and get the strap added, and that's exactly what I've done. And it just fits over the shoulder and hangs nicely around the waist underneath the arm and out the way, so it's sort of like a messenger bag. Something that allows you to carry around all the bits you need for the day fairly easily, just off to the side down here. So now that I've gone over all that, let's get to repairing this. Now when you're doing press studs, it's the same no matter what press studs you're doing, you just need some things that are the right size. If you buy, they come in boxes, you can get plenty of them, really easy. You get rivets as well, same sort of thing. And they normally come with these, which is a hammer and an anvil. The anvils have a flat side and a side with a little spike on the front of it, and an indent around that spike. The idea being that then as you're putting things on, you can either sit things in that groove and have the spike come up so it pushes up on the inside of the male sections that come out, or you can place it flat side, so if it's the button side of these, the button itself when you do your hammering. The way that you'd use these then is you put the two sides together either side of the fabric, place this hammer tool, and you do have several different varieties depending on what sort of section you're doing, because there are 4 parts to these press studs and each one requires a slightly different tool. I have a lot of the tools because I have rivets and I have press studs and I have these little screw things which are virtually the same sort of snaps, but you know, they all require their own specialised tools, so I really just got to find the one that's going to fit this. And there we have it. It's slightly stiff putting it on now, but that's because I had the wrong size of these hammers, so it's deformed the top a bit, so it's too wide for the button section on the front. But you know, better that it's a bit stiff than just flapping open. So there we have it, a repair to the Indiana Jones adventurer bag and a tour of my Indiana Jones hat while we're at it as well. If you enjoyed that, I hope you did, then you can click up here to subscribe to the channel, and this video down here has been picked out by the algorithm just for you. And I'm not going to mention the fact that in Indiana Jones and Star Wars they always have sort of a bit of a crossover between referencing each other and putting Easter eggs in, and in the background of this there's been a mock-up for a Star Wars cosplay.